Hello everyone, Ron here from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and I'm so glad you could join me this time. If you're looking for study tips and strategies, you are in the right place. And this week, as you know, I sometimes answer Quora questions, and this is a Quora question, or it's kind of a question and a comment together, but it's asking about studying really hard and not making the grade. And this person was also worried because other students copy each other's notes and get full grades, whereas this particular student says he or she studied very hard but didn't get a good grade. Also, they're worried about if they continue to get bad marks, that the teacher might think that he or she is dumb. So there's a little bit to unpackage here, a little bit to look at. So the first piece is I studied really hard and I didn't get the grade that I expected. And this could be for a test or an exam. It could also be for an assignment. Maybe you wrote an essay, you worked very, very hard on it, and you didn't get the grade that you expected or that you wanted or even that you needed. And this can be really frustrating. All students have faced this. I have faced it in my studies as well. And it does happen, no matter who you are. It can happen for a variety of reasons. Now, first of all, studied a lot or studied long or studied hard. That can mean many different things. And maybe you did do a lot of work, but it might not have been the most effective way of studying. In other words, the work might not have been done effectively. So you could have had an easier time studying and learned even more, possibly. The question doesn't indicate how this person studied, just that he or she felt that there was enough studying or that there was a lot of studying going on. So the quality of your study can make a difference. Did you use a reading method? Did you take notes appropriately, adequate notes? Did you use a note-taking method? Were you able to draw diagrams or pictures to help you understand the material? Did you do something with your notes? Because just writing down notes is often not enough. While I'm on that topic about notes, because the other complaint was other students copied each other's notes. Now, if that's all they did, that's fine. If they copied each other's tests, that's a different story. If they copied each other's essays, that's a different story, and that's wrong. However, copying another's notes is not necessarily wrong. It can be very helpful. So if you have friends or colleagues in the same course or same class, you can trade notes, copy each other's notes, and then trade them back. Now you've studied it again, and you've repeated the information. In other words, you're rehearsing the information. That's never a bad thing. And sometimes another person will take slightly different notes or see something that you didn't see, and vice versa. So trading notes or sharing notes or having study groups, that's not a bad thing, and that's not against the rules generally anyway. It can help you to learn even more. You can learn off of the other students. It's not just the teacher. And in fact, sometimes you learn a lot more from the other students and helping them out with their difficulties, and they're helping you with yours. Because as I've mentioned in videos and blogs before, teaching someone helps you learn more. You learn it because you have to go through it again, and you have to explain it very clearly so the other person understands. So that can be very helpful. So don't criticize that. That's actually a good thing. You might want to try it yourself. It's not cheating to copy someone else's notes. I would say take your own notes, though, before you do that, because you want to think about the information in the text on your own. But then you can also use other notes and other resources as well. You can look at other texts, other videos, other podcasts to learn more about that particular subject. So there's no real reason why you should limit yourself in most cases. If you get bad marks, that's not the end of the world, although sometimes it seems like it is. But what you want to do is look at why. Why did the mark come in as low as it is? Where did you lose the marks? What kinds of mistakes were made? If it isn't clear on the paper, if it hasn't been written down, go to the teacher, ask the teacher, where did those grades go? So if you got a 90%, you want to know where the other 10% went. If you got a 52%, you want to know where the other marks went. Whatever the grade is, it doesn't matter whether it's very good or not so good. You do want to know what happened. What did I do wrong? How can I improve? How can I do better the next time? Don't begrudge other people for getting good grades. People get good grades or bad grades for many reasons. Hopefully it's primarily based on the quality of the work, but it isn't always based on that. And not only that, but sometimes a course or a particular subject is easier for one person than for another. We're not all built the same. We don't all think the same way. We don't all understand the same kind of texts. So each of us has certain areas where we're going to be weaker than others. So that's fine. But an A student or a so-called straight A student sometimes gets into college or university after high school and struggles, even drops out, which is a shame because they're not used to working for the grade. They haven't had to before. For whatever reason, they got their grades without always having to do a lot of work. I'm not saying all straight A students, but I'm saying sometimes that happens. So don't worry about comparing yourself to anyone else or everyone else. Concern yourself with your own studies, your own materials, and your own grades. And don't even focus too much on the grade. Focus on the work. Focus on what you're doing and what you're accomplishing and what you're learning. If you breeze through a course, you probably didn't learn much, to be honest. You probably need a more challenging course because making mistakes and struggling a bit, at least, means you're learning something new. If you already know the material, then you really haven't learned very much. So I wouldn't worry too much about the grade because if you do the work, the grade will follow along. In other words, if you can learn the material, if you're able to explain the material in a test or on an exam or in an essay, whatever the assignments are for that particular course, if you do that well, then the grade will come with it. So you don't have to focus too much on the grades. And most good all good teachers do not think a student is dumb because he or she got a poor grade or even several poor grades. Teachers look at a student who is trying as a very intelligent person, as a person who is doing his or her very, very best, and teachers appreciate that. The grade has to be given for the quality of the work, and sometimes it just isn't there. You have a student who tries his or her very, very best, and it just doesn't work. It just didn't come out the way it should. That doesn't mean that the student is dumb. It doesn't mean the student is not intelligent or doesn't have lots of other capabilities in other areas. It doesn't even mean that he or she won't do well later in this course or perhaps in this subject in future years. It just means that at this moment, at this point in time, the work isn't there. The effort might have been there, but the result just isn't there. That's all. That's all it means. So it isn't a judgment on the person. It isn't a judgment on the personality or on the overall intelligence of a particular person. We all have weak areas. I have times when I'm trying to learn something and it's just not coming to me. I'm not getting it. And I have to go over it and over it. I have to look at it from different angles. I have to keep doing it. I think, why am I not getting this? I usually don't have too much difficulty, but this piece I'm just not getting. And it happens to everyone, I think. I've read about some geniuses and some really, really intelligent people in the world who had particular areas that they struggle with. They just don't get it, no matter how often they go over it. That's fine. We all have it. Don't worry about it. It doesn't mean you're not intelligent. It just means that that particular area at this particular time is a challenge. And it might change over time. It might not. So I don't want to ramble on and on, but I wanted to say that do not judge yourself too harshly or think that someone else is going to judge you too harshly because you did poorly on some tests or some assignments. Keep focusing on the learning and the education for you. It doesn't really matter what the teacher thinks anyway, to be honest. In the future, it matters that you get the learning, that you get the knowledge to take with you for the rest of your life, because what you put up here, someone can't take away from you. They might take away all your stuff, but they can't take that from you. So keep focusing on that. Down below, I'm going to put a link to the website where you can find lots of coupons for my online courses. You can also get in touch with me either through YouTube. If you're watching here, you can put a comment below, but you can also catch on to my email on the website and send me a message or question, or take a personalized course that way. But there are some of my online courses, my Udemy courses. I will put a link to the Study Skills course and the Test and Exam Strategies course with a coupon that lasts, well, it will last forever, but the savings part, or the discount part, will last for about 30 days, I believe. And so check that out. Check out the website. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you can help me out and I can help you out in the future. In the meantime, don't stress too much. Keep learning, and remember, keep having fun. Learning and gaining knowledge, it's all for you, and it's to your benefit. So if you think about it that way, it makes life a lot easier. It's Ron Johnson from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.